Machu Picchu.
Furries. I'm allowed to talk about them because I have this, and I earned it through points, and I have this, and it was a commission. Hi, my name is Michaela Kiesler. I'm a visual artist, illustration, photography, video. I like to edit. I like to make things. Why am I making this video? Great question. While being bullied for being a furry isn't what I would call discrimination of a minority group, I want to reduce stigma. I will be including a lot of fur science data. I want to better understand myself and others. With people like RFK Jr. trying to make registry list of people with autism, if I can explain it in a new way, then maybe there will be new people that will understand. However, if I've learned anything from role-playing as an animal online, not telling anyone, and then telling people, I've learned to release the desire for being understood. I used to think I could get so good at communicating that anyone would understand me, but that's not really how it works. What is a furry? Aren't they the people that dress up as animals and boink? Yes, and actually, 15 to 20% of furries, when asked, responded with an outstanding, yeah, that's cool. However, researchers asked people that actually owned fursuits. Only 2 to 3% of respondents say they use their fursuit for intimate things. I will be using Cardinal West's multi-definition of what a furry is. Furry is noun and adjective. Number 1, a genre descriptor for any work of art that features anthropomorphizations of animals. 2, a term for anthropomorphic animal characters within those works. 3, a label for people who generally enjoy anthropomorphic content. 4, the subsection of those fans active within the broad community is centered around anthropomorphic content, the furry fandom. 5, the collective fandom itself. And 6, the subsection of people within the fandom who cosplay. I went to the furry convention and they didn't fucking know you there. Yeah. So I basically naturally fell out of the community about the same time that I discovered I needed to study to get to college, and I learned about alcohol. I think the most famous furry I can think of is Will Toledo of Car Seat Headrest, or Adam from Your Movie Sex, and then probably me. Just kidding. I would like to add a 7th component. I believe you must identify as a furry to be a furry. That's my lukewarm take. I reached out to one of my childhood friends. She never defined herself as a furry, but she was under the impression that furries are only people that wear costumes. So what does furry mean to you? Furry seems to be more about the genuineness of one's felt love of furry content than it is about the ability to demonstrate devotion by displays of knowledge or trivia. Why are people furries? Why was I a furry? Being a furry was a way to explore identity in a safe space. The furry fandom is like all the other fandoms, except the Fursona is one of the components of the fandom that doesn't really have an analog to other fandoms. Other than that, fan art, music, writing, roleplay. Roleplay is actually how I got into it. I was really into the Warrior Cat series, and I found forums. I found this website called I Scribble, and there were people on I Scribble, and they were pretending to be warrior cats, and I was like, what the heck? This is the best thing ever. What if we pretended to be other stuff? I remember making several deviantarts. I made a fur affinity. It's kind of a joke in the furry community. Which Disney movie made you a furry? So what is a fursona? This is the fun part for me. So a fursona can represent you. It can be an avatar. For me, it was just a mascot to be anonymous. The aesthetics I liked and valued. My fursona changed a couple times. 94% of furries say they've had a fursona, with 40% having one, and most people averaging 2.3 over a lifetime. The species of fursonas are overwhelmingly wolf, fox, a hybrid animal, while the number 1 position actually just being other. I basically stole another furry's fursona. I know. Margaret, shroom puppy. I am really sorry. We were drawing on a scribble. I like the colors. I think they'll understand them. From the brown and cream swirl, an Australian shepherd. This guy. That little figure was made by the wonderful Nepeti. I remember thinking I wanted to have something unique. My fursona ended up being a liger. Very furry. Very furry. So who is a furry? The furry community is overwhelmingly cis men and white. Furries are actually no more likely to have a mood disorder, personality disorder, anxiety disorder than the general public. They are more likely to be autistic. This does not mean most furries are autistic. I would be remiss if I failed to mention that if you are straight, you would be in the minority. Nearly a quarter of furries are gay. Another quarter is bisexual. When I was in the furry community, I identified as asexual. I find it hilarious that there are more asexual and demisexual people than straight people. Why are people uncomfortable? Furries are not delusional. They don't think they're animals. That's Therians. People don't like things that are very, very different. People don't like things that weren't made for them. I also think the really angry people are kind of upset with seeing people that exist outside of their social hierarchy thriving. Of course, there's implied sexuality. A lot of mainstream media portrayals are just about the small percentage. In this context, I will be talking just about online furries, furries at conventions, and furries minding their own business. I'm a big believer in don't kill the cringe, kill the part of you that cringes. Hit that motherfucking subscribe button if you know it's good for you. I hope this video gave you a bit more insights on what a furry is, why we should all be killing the cringe, and why you might actually be a furry yourself. Here are some media that I believe to be what we will be calling the modern furry.